Welcome back to the Google Flights Guide. This is episode 2, Using Filters Best Practices. In this episode, we're going to talk about how do filters work, the date grid and price graph, which are two useful filters for those of you with travel flexibility, and the Nearby Airports tool. We're going to look at an international itinerary. So we'll first go to flights.google.com as always, and for our destination today we're going to do London Heathrow International Airport. I've already selected some dates that will be good for us to look at. That's going to be November 23rd through 30th, so just a week-long Phoenix to London round trip. Already the search is done and we have our best departing flights according to Google. It looks like those are going to be the non-stop options and then one with a short connection. Interestingly, we do have some cheaper options available that didn't come up as the best. And even though these have short connections, we can probably see why by clicking through and looking at the return, which unfortunately has 2 stops, and it has this scary red triangle which indicates that there's a long overnight layover. Obviously that isn't ideal, so it's no surprise that Google has already tried to sort that out from the best. So what I'm going to do to really show exactly how this works is go through an example. I'm going to give a bunch of different requirements that I have for my trip to London and explain exactly how I'm able to use the filters to take those into account. First of all is going to be the bags filter. This only relates to carry-on bags, not checked luggage. So this one isn't of importance here. It would be important if we were looking at a low-cost carrier like Norwegian, Frontier, Spirit. Stops is going to be important to me. I definitely don't want to take more than one stop, one layover on my way to London, so I can easily set that here. Now for the airlines, there's several ways we can do this. We can sort by alliance, so if we're focused on trying to earn airline miles with a specific alliance, we can sort there. But if we're loyal to a very particular airline, we can also select that. Now in this hypothetical scenario, I have Delta status, and so I'd like to only fly on Delta Airlines. The price tool is also useful for us. It'll allow us to limit the price to a certain amount. So if my hard limit is around $1,500, I'm able to set that right here. I think the times filter is the most useful one of all because it allows us to specify exact departure and arrival times in both directions. So for this example, I need to arrive in London on the outbound flight prior to 7 a.m. and that's because I have an early meeting in London. So that's already set. The other requirement that I have is that I depart London after 2 p.m. on the return because once again I have a morning meeting. We set that here, and already it looks like we're down to just 2 flights in the departing direction, and we'll see how many in the return. The last thing that I'd like to set, though, is for the connecting airports, I definitely don't want to lay over more than 2 hours. And so that already limits us down to just one option, Phoenix to London via Detroit. So we can select that. And now on the return as well, we have only one option. So it makes it quite simple for us to see exactly what's available. And like I showed you in the last video, we're able to see all of the flight information and aircraft information in both directions. Google also still is breaking it down by basic economy, main cabin. They're also providing the Delta Comfort Plus, Premium Economy, and Delta One prices, so you can get a good sense of what every single type of fare includes at a glance. This is one of the best parts of Google Flights, in my opinion. And once again, the booking is quite simple. All the booking options are given here. We have Delta Airlines and then all of their partners as well. It's important to note this fare details unavailable section because this indicates that all of this information is being given to us by Delta Airlines. If we were to book through any of these other airlines, it isn't a guarantee that we would be able to book these same fares. So that's why it's extremely important that we try to book through the source that shows all of the information. Now there are some other tools that I'd like to show you that are alongside these filters. We'll first get rid of all of the filters I had set initially here. And we're going to take a look at the date grid first. which is a great way to get an at-a-glance sense of all the prices for your dates plus or minus 3 days. It's color-coded, very easy to follow, and understand exactly how expensive it would be to travel on certain dates. The price graph is also useful, but it only is going to show 7-day trips because that's what I initially searched. And like I showed you in the last video, it's very common for different cities to have multiple airports. London is a perfect example of that because they have 6 different airports within the London metro area. Now, I initially forced London Heathrow to be my destination, but I can already see here that at a glance, it looks like London Gatwick is much more affordable. So if I don't mind that, I can add the airport quite easily here, and as soon as I close this out, it's going to show me what that cheaper option is. Now this has an 8-hour, 41-minute layover in Calgary, so obviously not something that most people are willing to do, but we can see that a much more appropriate 3-hour connection is only $913 round trip, which is a huge savings over what we were looking at booking before. The other section we're going to look at here is the More section. This is going to show a toggle for flight duration. If you have a maximum flight duration in mind, which indicates the total time spent from taking off at your origin to landing at your final destination, including layover times, that's something you're able to adjust here as well. Separate tickets is something we're going to dive into a little bit more in episode 5. So overall, as you can see, Google Flights makes it extremely simple for us to sort all of our options. There can sometimes be hundreds of options, and many of them probably won't work based on your schedule and travel needs and preferences. Google Flights makes it very easy for us to figure out exactly what flight is going to be best for us and make sure we get the best price doing it. Thank you so much for tuning in to episode 2 of the Google Flights Guide. Today we talked all about filters and how Google Flights helps make sure you get the exact flights you need at the best price. Stay tuned. Next time we're going to be talking about price tracking. Price tracking is one of the most useful tools that Google Flights offers that isn't offered by many other places. If you've ever wondered whether or not you should buy now or wait for a lower price, the next episode is going to show you exactly how Google Flights tries to approximate when prices are going to go up or down and tell you if it's best to buy now. Once again, thanks so much for watching. Please like and subscribe below, and we'll see you again soon.